All right. Test, test,
Test.
test, test.
Well, and some people are disappointed in Lizzo. So I don't know if you saw some of the news stories on Lizzo lately. She's had a former dancer or dancers in her group have raised some pretty serious allegations of sexual harassment and other improper behavior. In part, they were in public and they were watching, you're going to like a strip club or something like that, and kind of feeling forced to, touch dancers and do things, and it just was very uncomfortable for people. At least this one lady who's raising the charges. So it's creating a lot of negative publicity for Lizzo lately. She had a concert canceled in early September. Now they're saying, they didn't say it was because of these allegations, but you sort of get some hints for that, perhaps. So raising a lot of social media buzz here. So a couple of things. Any thoughts on Lizzo? And then we're going to get into our Ask an Idiot question, where have there been any celebrities or perhaps athletes or somebody that maybe you sort of admired in some respect that something came out that either they actually did or there's some weird allegations or something like that to where it complicates your feelings toward that person, and it's kind of a weird thing. Are you allowed to like them still or what have you? And we've talked about different ones throughout the various episodes here. So, Nick, let me start with you. Any thoughts on Lizzo, first of all? And then, do you have any celebrities and or athletes that fit that description for you?
Yeah. So Lizzo, first of all, by all accounts, love her, love everything I see and hear of her. And I had not previously heard of this story or the allegations against her. So maybe I am, missing some details or this or that or the other. It sounds a little bit like maybe they were out doing a group function at a strip club, and people probably having drinks and, oh, go on, touch him. She's egging people on and whatever. And,
Right.
now, so I don't want this to get twisted in what I'm trying to say, but there is certainly a double standard with genders when it comes to these types of things. If I were at a strip club with Lizzo, my female employer, who is famous and is a woman, and women tend to take things like that a little differently amongst themselves, as if, say, I were a famous musician, okay, a male, and egging on people to touch women and do all this stuff, like that would come it would certainly be viewed differently if it came from me, right? Like maybe I'm in a position of power, I'm a man, I'm getting off on this somehow. This is, when women do it, it's a little more playful. It's, so I bet it was something like that. But I don't know. I don't really know enough about the situation or the details. Irregardless, if somebody does not want to partake in something like that, regardless of who it's coming from, they shouldn't be made to. And I'm sure they weren't made to, but maybe they just felt that they needed to or were supposed to. This is probably something that'll kind of blow over. Maybe something was misunderstood, but I do feel that when I heard you talk about this, I'm like, there's a bit of a double standard with gender.
Sure.
And there's a lot of history from the male species to back up why that is. I'm not saying it's unwarranted. I'm just saying it does exist. And maybe this is something like that that's just kind of out of context. So hopefully, like I said, unless she did something horribly over the line, it would be cool to see it all blow over. I think she's awesome and very talented, and it would be cool if this was a blip and, whatever. I would not like to see her, go away or her career be hurt by anything that wasn't, super serious. That being said, I can give you some examples of artists specifically that I have loved, and I mean loved, like meant a lot to me, and like now it's like completely like unacceptable. I have to draw the line and be like, look,
the majority of your heroes fall under this.
You can appreciate what they made at the time that you didn't know they were a bag of shit. However, now you're not gonna go to their concert. You're not gonna support them. The biggest one on my fucking list, and like this artist meant so much to me for so many years. I idolized him. I loved his work. So incredible for so long. Marilyn
I
Manson.
appreciate this. Oh.
Marilyn Manson was a big fan. Big fan of what he made. Big fan of his art. Big fan.
And
of
you were
everything.
surprised to find out he was a creepoid piece of shit?
Well, yes, I was, because it all seemed like performance art.
Right.
Because he was playing a character. Because every interview you ever saw him, he was always so intelligent, so well spoken, always said the right things, always put things in context in a way that you hadn't thought of before. And I just really, that was also part of what allured me to him. What I found so interesting is that he was just maybe not what people would expect. And this is, again, performance art. Gene Simmons breathing fire and spitting blood is not a demon. Like, it's not real. You know, it's performance, it's art. This is a larger than life character. And I always took it the same with Marilyn Manson. And while in many ways the types of things may have been, certainly the allegations brought against him for pretty, to a drastic degree, sexual assault and even further, emotional abuse towards Evan Rachel Wood, and I mean just the horrible things. It's now to the point to where I'm like, I would never pay money to go see this fucking guy again. I would never wear a shirt of Marilyn Manson out in public again. I can't bring myself to do it because of whether. I mean, he's not been.
You're not 17. That's also another good reason.
He's not been. He what?
10.
Oh, he's not been, convicted of anything, so that's a big one. The other one, I'll wrap it up so everybody else can talk too. Kanye West, obviously. There again,
of course.
His work cannot be contested. It's just, it is what it is. It's cultural. It's incredible. He's a generational, thing. But unfortunately, he's lost his fucking mind, or he was a piece of shit all along, and it came out. I don't know which is true. I prefer to believe the first one, but in any event, I have to separate that. But those are two people that I very much idolized and looked up to and really let me down. So what about you guys?
Good ones. Dean, go ahead.
First of all, I'm just, when I heard you guys talk about the Lizzo, I was horrified that Hillary Duff could get tied up in something like this. I was appalled and confused, really. Because, like, why would she go around by her name, by her character's name? It's Lizzo McGuire, right?
No, this is Lizzo, the performer. No.
I'm so glad that Brian said we have 10 minutes for this segment, and you wasted that amount of time to try to set up that joke.
Yeah, because I don't know who the fuck Lizzo is.
What?
She's like a
Where
larger,
have you been?
She's a notably heavy-set performer.
So you would have heard a Lizzo song.
Yeah, she comes out as just, I'm a big lady, I don't care, and it's just sort of an empowerment for women who happen to be a little bit larger, and
I can't speak on it because I don't know who she is.
She is a good performer. Yeah, she is a good performer.
Well, I'm sure she's lovely, but I don't know who she is. But my celebrity one, I have the one, and I'm going to be real quick. Michael Jackson it has to be on the top of almost everybody's list, given that the idea of, like, he's just iconic, and I mean, he is the icon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just, Nick said, go buy the concerts and go to the concert or whatever. You can't go to his concert anymore. He's dead. So it's the idea of, like, how do I feel about listening to his music? Well, I'm able to, for the most part, there's probably some extremes to it, and I've said this before in this podcast, I'm able to separate artist from the human.
Mm-hmm.
So the whatever he did, accused of doing whatever, I can separate it, but it still is unnerving knowing what he did. You can't hear a song, at least somewhere in that, go, ick. So Louis C.K. is another one.
Louis C.K. That's a good one.
There was I think it was a and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. But I think he exposed himself to a couple women in a meeting in a room in a meeting. I think there was a misunderstanding. Again, does not justify it, but I don't think he just goes, "Here's my dick. Let's see what happens." He probably caught the wrong vibes from the situation and chose the wrong path. Again, that's what I like to think, because like the dude's hilarious. But again, he didn't force anybody to do anything. He didn't grab their hands and do this, do that. He just pulled it out, realized that, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. They left, and then, he got canceled. So,
yep,
that's my list.
Okay,
I guess.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, all these is just like it's. I mean, humans make mistakes. We get it. Obviously there's different levels of behavior and mistakes that people make that are a little bit more like Arnold's a good one in the sense of, I would rather, as a fan of his, it's too bad that he slipped up and made a mistake. But he admitted it. He has admitted it publicly and ruined his marriage.
Infidelity isn't as bad as some of the other things that people's done.
As a fan,
it's pretty light.
Yeah, but the fact is he still owned up to it. He took accountability. He spoke to it openly, even on his documentary. That stuff, it's like, okay, it happens. It's happened to a lot of people. Whatever. Michael Jackson's my number 1, 2, Dean, where it's like, man, boy, I really wish that. And you can't control people, whatever, but that is something that's going to be tied to his legacy until the end of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be. This discussion is going to be made by many people. I'm sure.
He's saying Billie Jean and diddled kids.
Allegedly, right? But
allegedly,
still,
right?
Yeah, but it's
saying
still
Billie
a lot
Jean.
of
Correct.
That was smoke. There's fire type of deal.
That was the one I was one of the longest standing. I'm like, no, he was just weird, and people saw an easy target. No. And for up until like a couple of years ago, I finally watched the HBO documentary, the Finding Neverland or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, man, it is hard to defend him now. It's like really hard to defend him now. And like I had a Michael Jackson shirt that I would still wear every now and again, and I was like, I think I donated it to one of the clothes, but I'm like, I'm not going to wear this out again. Like I just don't feel right now. Like
the irony that it was a child's t-shirt.
Well, that's Nick's normal size.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and not as high as Michael Jackson, but it's Kevin Spacey was another one. I really liked him as an actor.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He did some good stuff, and it's like, man. Now he was acquitted recently in the trials, right? So. But still, there's still some bad behavior going on there.
Heavy stank on that one. Yeah, it's hard to
watch that. Yeah, and I'm sure there's other ones out there as well. So,
there's tons. Like most people that are of fame and are men are pieces of shit. It turns out. So
and plenty of athletes where it's like, it's some really, you're talking about abuse and.
See, when we become famous, at least we know that I'm already a piece of shit. It's not like it's not going to be a surprise.
Right. No surprise. Right.
When I'm in a fucking movie theater. Pee Wee Herman.
That's another one.
You get a little stank put on him.
That's right. That's another good one. Yeah.
Again, I explained the reasoning there. We all would jerk off in a movie theater. Yeah. We'd all do it. That's what those things are for. Come on.
I would not.
We would like to edit this in.
Theater. No.
You're going to an adult theater. You're just going to put your hands by your side and go, oh, look, people having sex.
I wouldn't go into one of those anyway, frankly.
It is hard to put. I'm on the same wavelength here. I'm like, it's hard to even imagine being in the situation, much less being in the situation, then being like, might as well jerk off now. Like, no, probably not. But
we don't have a lot of time in this segment, but
he chose to go, so
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell the story when I went to some other podcast. Just remind me.
All right, very good.
Yeah, we don't have time right now.
We're not going to be bringing that back up.
Well, I'll just Lizzo is disappointing. Is it the level of some of these other people? No way. I hope they work this out and resolve it. I feel like it'll probably get resolved. Maybe there's a settlement or something like that. I'm sure Lizzo will come out and say something here. I would imagine. I don't think it's going to derail her entire career. It'll be something that's talked about, like you said, Nick. But I think overall she'll recover. But maybe she learned something here too. If she was in a situation where she pressured somebody to do something you didn't want to do,
Even
clearly
though
she
it's
learned
meant to be
about it,
jokingly,
and
like maybe you think twice kind of thing.
So
Yeah.
hopefully
That's
she
right.
doesn't get canceled and I learn who she is.
that's exactly right.
You won't.
elect-
If they've done anything after 1975, Dean will never know who they were.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Alexa, shut up!
Well, Alexa is telling us again that it's time to end this segment.
There
We're
it
going
is.
to take a break here, guys, and we're going to come back with our main topic this evening: how to work in Alexa properly.
Stay
And
tuned.
then follow up by our other topic: fictional coaches. Who are some of your favorite fictional coaches of all time? This could be movies or TVs or wherever. Dean's going to talk about his idea a little bit more, and we're going to share our Idiot Mount Rushmore lists of our favorite fictional coaches
That's right.
right after this. Right, Alexa?
Oh, now she's silent. Hey there. If you like that video, or if you just like to watch us make fools of ourselves, please like and subscribe to this channel. We really appreciate it. We hope to see you back here.
Ham, gravy.